Hey team, just a quick video here demonstrating this new feature where we will allow merchants to create within simple bundles a simple bundle type with more than 100 variants. Just remembering that before Shopify had a limit of 100 variants, and now they are slowly increasing that for merchants. So it's not for not all merchants will have out of the box this 2000 variant limit. Some will still continue with the 100 variants for now, and they are rolling releasing that. So the first difference here, I'll create here. The process is still the same here. So the first difference here, when you add products here, now you will see that instead of showing only the products, we will show the variants to be selected. So before you could only select the entire product with all its variants, and now you have like more granular control, so you can create a bundle taking only 3 variants out of this product instead of like taking the whole product, so they can cherry pick. So that's kind of something that came as like an unintended thing out of this feature, but it could be a plus for merchants that were seeking to create bundles but just with a subset of variants. So, and we had to do this change here because in Shopify now, in the speaker, for products with a lot of variants, it will load the first 50 variants. And if you want to see all the variants, you need to click here, and then you see all the variants. So if a merchant wants to create a bundle with a product that has 2000 variants, so let's just pick one here that has 2000 variants. Like this one has 2000 variants. If you just click here, you see that the minus sign here. That means that not all records have been selected, because you need to scroll down here and click to load them all. Otherwise, it will just select the first 50. And now you can actually toggle them all, and it should take all the 2000 variants from this guy. In this store here, I have already been granted the 2000 variant limit. So when I select this amount of variants, I don't see that warning saying you have more than what's allowed. So as you can see here, it says here 2000 product variants, 3 options. But let's pretend that we add like a 4th option here. So now we will see this warning that we can only have 2048. This number comes from Shopify now. It's not like a hard limit. Before we had a hard limit of 100 here, but now we validate this based on what Shopify has. So if a merchant sees 2048, they are already allowed to create more than 100 variants. And Shopify still constrains to 3 options. There's no way to create products with more than 3 options. So in this case, we would have 4,000 variants, so that we are not allowed. So I'll revert back. So we are good to go here. So whenever you submit to create this amount of variants, we won't redirect you right away to the created bundle, because it takes a while to create this amount of variants as a bundle. So when you click here, you will be directed to the index page here, and it will say, we'll have this message saying that we'll receive an email. And once the bundle is set up with the 2000 variants, you will get an email, and then you can click there and open your bundle. So we'll come back when that's ready. So here I'm back a couple minutes later. The bundle has been created with 2000 variants. It is a pretty ridiculous amount of variants, but yeah, not necessarily all merchants will be using this way. They might use it with 300 variants, 200 variants, which should be faster to create. And even loading here is quite fast, if you see. It loads the page with the 2000 variants. One thing that I want to point out here, now that merchants can cherry pick here, there's a scenario where you cherry pick. For example, I want to cherry pick the 51st variants here, and with all these variants. And when I add here, you will see that here it says 50 variants, because it's the amount of variants that I selected. But here it says 64 product variants. That's because the options combinations here is actually 64, but I don't selected all the variants for all the possible combinations. That's one scenario that merchants can run into, and Shopify is able to gracefully handle that scenario. For example, here I don't have a variation of like peach, aluminum, and ass variant, although I have the options for it, but it is not selected into this list. But in Shopify, when you select that variant combination, it will show unavailable. I'll just go back once this bundle is created, and I'll show you. So here's another example of one of those created bundles where I selected 50, which is just a subset. So for example, in that subset, I do have the options peach, aluminum, L, although I didn't select it as part of the bundle. So you see when you try to sell it here in Shopify, Shopify handles it as saying that it's unavailable because you didn't select it as part of the bundle, although it is one possible option to combine. That's the only thing that merchants might run into, and that's the explanation why. So yeah, thanks.